In this video, I'm going to go over Hoyoverse's upcoming game, Zenless Zone Zero or ZZZ. And no, it's not a sleep-inducing game. It was recently showcased at Gamescom and it looked pretty epic, I'm not going to lie. For those that don't know, Hoyoverse is a game developing and publishing company that have made some really big, well-known games so far, and they asked me for an in-depth analysis about their upcoming game, Zenless Zone Zero, which is not out yet for your information, but they did showcase some exciting gameplay trailers at Gamescom. Now, as the gamer of all time that has beaten some of the most difficult bosses in games at least 69 million times, I said yes, I'll do that for you. So this video is sponsored by Hoyoverse, but everything I say is reflective of my own opinion and analysis on the game. So it's mostly just going to be a review of the things we saw at Gamescom. It actually does look like a cool, fun game, and that is pretty important because I'm not going to make an entire sponsor dedicated video about a game if I don't think it's not good. Ain't nobody got time for that, and it's as simple as that. Now, first of all, what is Zenless Zone Zero? Zenless Zone Zero is an upcoming urban fantasy action role-playing game. The very first thing you will notice when checking out the game is that it incorporates a very unique art style. You can see this when looking at the environment and visuals, but not just the environment and visuals, because the characters in the game look also pretty well designed and obviously modeled after an anime style design. I also really like the music in the game. It's like modern, stylish, and strong in groove.
Welcome to Godfinger. First off, read through our
Combining this fresh and quirky art style that is then supported by fitting music, and I think both those two elements will help out with maintaining a good audio-visual experience. By strengthening the impact and beat of action animation, the game then also seems to bring a thrilling and fluent action combat experience. Basically, the combat's all over the place. It looks really action-packed. They have redesigned the action system as well, by the way, so the game is setting up to be easy to learn and to enjoy for newcomers while remaining challenging for veteran players. So whether you have never tried out these type of games or are already familiar with it, the game, based on what I've seen obviously and heard, definitely tries to facilitate a fun experience for both types of players. Now, combat in RPGs is one of my favorite aspects usually, and in the 90-second trailer we got a few quick glimpses of updated combat mechanics and the assist skills. It shows a bunch of different characters with a variety of different moves and special attacks. I will get into this a bit more in depth in a second, but the trailer showcases us the new assist system. So from what I see, it's called Perfect Assist, and it essentially entails that you can swiftly change your character right at the moment that the opponent attacks, enabling the substitute character to enter the battlefield and perform a defensive, evasive, or offensive assist. From what I saw from the detailed trailer, the specific type of assist will vary depending on the character that is switched in, so that adds a bit of strategy that you can use to your advantage. With that being said, let's dive a bit deeper into the combat system and this new assist skill system using the more detailed gameplay trailer that was also showcased on Gamescom. Now, regarding the assist, you definitely have to be precise on your timing. Here's a good clip that we saw in the detailed trailer showing you a very narrow time frame where you can actually activate Perfect Assist. It is even a good portion of the detailed trailer because it shows you how to activate the assist system back to back. And that's a good way to implement the system in my opinion, as it makes sure combat is fluid, fast-paced, and draws all your attention. If you're off on your timing, or worse, look away for even a second, you might miss that important window where you can strategically pull ahead on your opponent. Regarding the combat itself then, you can see all the options you have at the right side of your screen. You apparently have 5 main buttons and options in combat. RB seems to be the one that is tied to the Perfect Assist window, and it has 3 charges, so you can't just spam it, you have to actually use it tactically. Now, I don't know if this depends on the combat scenario or if it's like something you can upgrade, but I think 3 charges is a good middle ground for it. Not being spammy, but also not being too niche to use. Then RT seems to be like an ultimate skill type of sorts, as when the character presses it, you even get a little cutscene, and it's followed up by a huge sequence of hard-hitting attacks. So definitely think RT is going to be the thing you want to use to finish off your target, or if you need big burst quickly. Y seems to be then tied to combos and longer streaks of normal attacks, while X seems to just represent all your normal attacks, so probably what you will be using the most as it doesn't require resources. And A finally seems to be tied to mobility that you can use for leaping, for example. The variety of different combat options seem to allow for combos and different approaches to making sure you defeat your opponents. Now, I haven't played the game itself obviously since it's not out, but overall the combat system looks fluid and just straight to the point, backed by colorful and engaging visuals. So for those that like the more fast-paced and flashy combat, I definitely think this game will saturate your needs. It also seems like there's a high skill ceiling to the game while having a relatively low skill floor, and what I mean with that is that with utilizing the various combat options for approaching the enemies, combos, and then also optimally using the assist system, you can definitely push the limits of your character and what you can do. So the more experienced players can really take it to the next level. However, on the other hand, the game doesn't look overly complicated or anything, as everything you can do is shown on screen and the game actively reminds you of all your options at all times. And even if you just button mash, you probably will get at least half decent results. And that's probably good to know for newer players who just want to smash and win, as it's definitely not intimidating to just jump in and try out combat while also winning, and then as you get better, you really start learning the intricacies of the systems, which will make you in turn better and give you the means to start destroying whatever you're fighting even more and even better, and tackle on harder challenges with success. So in my opinion, it seemed to provide a good middle ground for both new and veteran players. Let's see how we then can really take our strategy to the next level using the game's mechanics, and I'm going to purely speculate here based on what I see in the trailers obviously, and think makes sense from a perspective to optimize your damage output. Now you're going to use your normal attacks against the bosses in the game to build up momentum, and these bosses seem to have some kind of posture bar of some sort that if you fill it up, their stance gets broken. And in those moments you get the opportunity to get free hits in and completely stomp them. So you want to make sure to keep an eye out on this bar. From what I see, properly blocking incoming hits also fills up this bar, as well as using your Y command, which is like your special combo attack. So you want to weave in those blocks and special attacks in addition to your normal attacks to fill the posture bar of the boss as fast as possible. Meaning you don't want to just spam normal attacks most likely, as you will be prone to get hit more often, as well as not utilize your special attacks properly. Now when you do fill the bar and the posture of the boss breaks, it seems like a really good time to use your perfect assist, and then accordingly use this moment to get as many offensive assists in as possible, as both you and the character that is helping you out will completely destroy the boss while he stands broken. And it makes sense. Damage from two sources is better than just damage from one source, especially when the enemy can't do anything about it. This makes me think that you'll want to use defensive assists in hard situations where you are behind and are essentially getting your HP depleted and need to sustain till you can switch the tides of the battle. The evasive assist seems to be a good assist for if you want your assist to make sure you dodge incoming hits, or you just quickly want to get distance in so you can then accordingly not get hit and then capitalize on the fact that the boss just missed a potentially big attack and you have all the space and room to properly retaliate. And I think those are definitely the major aspects of combat based on what we can see at this moment in time. Let's also take a look on some of the non-combat related sneak peeks that we saw in the trailers and give some analysis on that as well. First of all, we got a glimpse at variety of the new added explorable areas in New Eridu, which is, as you know, the main vibrant city where the game's events unfold. And it also seems that we have a dynamic time-changing system now where the cycle of day, night and weekdays will enhance the role-playing experience while triggering different events and occurrences in the city. You can also engage with a diverse set of characters in New Eridu and build meaningful relationships, and you have to decide how you want to be perceived, because apparently the game involves some kind of social system where you can increase favorability with characters through interactions. Zenless Zone Zero also seems to add a new arcade system where players can team up and enjoy these nostalgic type of minigames, and more in general, the trailer and these minigames in the game also gives me a 80s type of vibe, which is, I guess, also what they're trying to aim for with the game's more retro type of atmosphere, and I think that's actually a really nice and cool vibe to have for a game, and just obviously based on the trailers, they seem to have nailed that aesthetic pretty well. We also got a very small glimpse in the trailer at this type of community-made system where players can interact with each other. It seems to be like a proxy network system that will enable players to view forum posts and undertake commissions. There are some games that have similar systems, but I think it's quite an innovative way for an in-game system to resemble like a real-life forum that then helps out to facilitate tackling difficult in-game problems and just generally building a community that then also adds to the game's narrative and gameplay. And that's been the analysis on what we've seen so far. We haven't really seen that much, to be honest, but we we will probably get to know more and more in the weeks to come. So definitely an exciting time. The game will be available on cross-platform, by the way, so that is good news. I will personally play on PC, and you can already pre-register for the game if you want. You just need to go to their official website as displayed on screen. So make sure to check the website out, and hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.